Hello and welcome to Las Vegas Pitch Presents. We are going to have a fun day today. I got a couple of great, fun people, Ilona and JB Spisso with Casago Homes. We are going to talk today about something that is totally foreign to me, and I can't wait to learn a lot about it. So let's first, though, I want to find out, what are your backgrounds? How did you get into this Casago Home? What is Casago Home? And tell us how you guys got into this.
Well, I'm Ilona Melnichenko. I'm born in Ukraine, and my whole life I was professional athlete and professional figure skating coach till I met my handsome husband.
This guy right here, JV.
And he
swept you off your feet?
Yes. We decide to change our lives and start new careers. And we picked to be with Casago Vacation Rentals. That's my story.
That's your story. Well, I'm going to get more into that. But JB, what is Casago, and because people don't know exactly what it is.
Sure. Casago is the leader in vacation rental management. International company.
Kind of like being Airbnb type?
Well, Airbnb, VRBO, Expedia, all that. Those are booking platforms.
Okay.
So, but somebody has to manage that property.
Got it.
A lot of people buy it and they self-manage it themselves. Other people, they farm it out to certain other property management companies. But Casago specializes in short-term vacation rentals. They're the leader in it. And the reason they're a leader in it is because of the platform that everything integrates into, the streamlined platform. That's number one. So it's the guest experience, and it's also we like to call ourselves the old English word for steward is stigward. We are the steward of the owner's property.
Okay.
So we're not just turning and burning those properties. If that's what you want to do with yours, we're not for you. So we're a boutique service with the power and presence of an international brand. And that's what it brings. So all of our homes, they get booked, they stay booked, and they stay booked with the right type of guest, right? So we're not looking for the guests that come in for the Las Vegas party and trash your place. And that's not what the homeowner's looking for either.
Right.
So if you're a homeowner, you have an investment property, you have a short-term vacation rental permit, or you're in a place that allows that, we manage it for you. We take all the stress off of you. You're paid every month. We do all the bookkeeping, and we ensure that your place is in the, like we like to call the gold standard of care.
Individuals that are coming to Las Vegas, they see the growth that's happening.
Sure.
You know, our friend Robert and I in the back, we are just so much advocates of Las Vegas. You guys moved here. Walk us through, let's say somebody is looking to invest in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. They find a property.
Sure.
And they're like, I don't want to, I want to buy the property as an investment, but I don't want to manage a property. If they buy the property, what would they do? Do they go to you and kind of start that process?
Sure.
Is it short-term, all short-term? Is it like 12-month lease? How does that work?
Well, we specialize in short-term vacation rental. So that's 2-night stays. And of course, if there's a midterm stay, 31 nights or more. Now, here's what the investor has to understand. There are only certain areas in Henderson, Las Vegas that allow you to do short-term vacation rentals. So you have to do a little bit of your research, and we can help the realtor with that too. The realtor comes in and asks us, we can guide them on where to go. It's never a guarantee, but we can kind of show you where that could be a possibility of that. Once you get your home, for example, using Henderson. Henderson is an easier place to get a short-term vacation rental. In Las Vegas, you want to get in one of the towers. MGM Signature, the Palms, the Trump, the Platinum, places like that allow short-term vacation rentals. You apply for your permit, you get it, and then we do everything else.
And then everything else, it's
everything
just kind
else
of
for
a
you. Yep.
turnkey solution for them.
And you might say, well, what's the difference in why don't I just do long-term rental? Well, because the price point for short-term vacation rental is obviously more. When you can book a place for 20, 25 nights a month, you're turning substantial income than if you just rented that just as a monthly rental.
So can you give an example of like what, like let's talk the Palms. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would a nightly rental be in the Palms versus maybe a monthly rental?
You're talking about per night as far as
yeah.
price.
So
price
how
per
much
night,
more
yeah.
can they make on the rent from a daily or a weekly type rent versus monthly?
Well,
or,
because you're on your average daily rates, obviously going to go up, 50 to 60% more a night, depending on the nightly stay. And like for this weekend, right? It's a weekend in Vegas where there's another music festival. That price per night is up. If you rented it a month, you would just be paying that monthly rent along the way. But this nightly rental's up. So, for example, those places might go for $340, $350, that sort of thing.
Right.
And I will also tell you that the people that already have a vacation rental permit and you're doing it yourself or you're doing it with somebody else, you should give us a call because we take the stress off of you. Usually we get clients that have been with somebody else, they're not completely happy with it, and they come to us and they see the Casago difference.
Mm-hmm.
The Casago difference is when you call us, you get us. Some of the bigger management companies, I always tell them, well, I might go with this company. I said, fine, you can go with that company. Ask him where he lives. Ask him where does the owner of that company live? And a lot of times they don't live here. Right? They're farming it out to somebody else. Look at you. You have a business. You're here. People call you. We are in your studio in Las Vegas.
Right.
You're not living in Los Angeles or you're not living in Seattle doing this business. You're here. So when people come and see you, who do they get? They get you.
Right.
That's the Casago difference right there. Locally owned and operated.
You're on top of it.
Retired from the military.
If there's an issue,
boots
call
on the
him.
Oh, yesterday we had an issue. A hot tub wasn't filling in one of the properties. We already called the pool guy, but before the pool guy got there, I was already there.
Yeah.
And then I just sent him a little video. He goes, oh, just hit the switch, bang, bang. It was done in 2 seconds. People are happy.
Yeah.
So they have our direct number. We talk to every single guest before they check in. We talk to every single guest when they're checked in. And after they check in, we say, what can we do better? We are always trying to improve their stay. The thing that you have to understand with vacation rentals is it can be a lucrative business, but it has to be run right. If not, your property is going to be run into the ground. And that's not what we're looking at. There are times that we look at the homeowner and you say, you know what? We need a 1 week pause. We need a 1 week pause because we need to do some upkeep. There's some painting needs to be done, that sort of thing. Okay. Our homeowners are always in control of what's happening.
Right.
They always know. Every time there's a booking, they get an email. They already know.
So the communication that you go back and forth is key. Now, I know that you have an investor coming in looking at homes, and you were talking about specific areas that you would potentially take them to that are interested in the short-term type rental properties. Do you also sell those units as well? Can you also handle those transactions?
Yes. We can do it here in Casago, or we have team of professionals working with us who will help us to sell and buy and finance.
Right.
So everything
All inclusive.
everything all together. We believe in a team sport, right? Because we are there. I'm an athlete, and I always work in a team of coaches and athletes, and I'm a team-oriented person. I like work with team, but I also know that in your team you have to have right people.
Right.
So we very carefully choosing our team, from our cleaning team to our mortgage team to our photographer and our videographer and landscape and handyman, and all these things we all cover. We just renovate MGM signature unit because we wanted that unit perform better than other units in
Right.
MGM because they look older. So we renovated. It's look brand new. It's beautiful, and we put our team around, and we renovated for 2 weeks. And it's actually this Friday we're having first guest.
First
Oh,
guess.
really? Wow.
Yeah,
First
and
guess.
we're so exciting. The pictures come out amazing, and we believe in the teamwork because we are team.
Well, I can see just in the time period that I've been, with you guys, I've known you for a little bit here, just the attention to detail, being an athlete, putting the choreography together for your
Yes.
skaters and doing all that, and the spin coach and all that. You have such an attention to detail, which
Yeah.
I can see. And you talked about the
Yes, yes.
organizing. You're very
Yes.
organized in regards to making that unit the way
Yes.
it is.
One thing Ilona does is with her team is everything in the homes, especially the homes that are short-term vacation rental, everything's marked because you don't want people to come in.
Yeah.
You don't want people to come in after a long drive, everything else, and it's scavenger hunt. Where are the plates? Where are the glasses? Where's the water? You take that stress off of people, and it's so funny because we get so many compliments on that. Everything is done and prepared for them. From a handwritten note to a little gift basket to little things. We know they're bringing their kids in for a soccer tournament. We leave a few extra Gatorade water bottles. Oh, by the way, here's where the soccer field is from your home. With just a little additional.
Right.
It's those small things that people see and they're like, wow, it's so amazing. I think there also could be, obviously, who are our biggest competitors, right? The hotels, but we're not their competitor.
Right.
And I think there could be a little bit more cooperation in government with that, with the hotels, because we actually supply a need for them as well too. If you're if you're a couple, you have 4 kids, you're coming in for a soccer tournament, renting one room in a hotel, that's with one little bathroom and 4 kids, and where are you going to eat? How are you going to get coffee? It doesn't work for them.
Right.
But coming to a vacation rental where the kids can have their own room, there's a private pool and private spa, the mom and dad can make coffee in the morning and make a little breakfast. Those are things that keep people coming back to the area. And then, oh, by the way, what do? They still go to the strip and spend money. They still go and buy things.
Right.
It's still a part of that. So I think there's a little bit of the cooperation. And, oh, by the way, with the vacation rentals, we still pay a 13% transient lodging tax. So the city gets money.
Yeah,
from
it works for everybody. Now,
Yeah.
do you have, well, for me, what I'm thinking as an investor, right?
Sure.
If I'm buying a property,
Mhm.
I want to be able to basically do hands off, thank you, but I also want to make sure that that continues to get rent. I'm assuming that with the services that you provide, the detail, the attention to detail, that people come back over and over and over again, correct? And that's why it continues to stay filled.
Generally, people say they book on another platform. And listen, we welcome people to book on whatever platform that they are most comfortable with. Generally, after they book on that platform, they come to our property, they go right to Casago next time. Why book with us directly? Because you don't have any of those booking fees that you might get with some other
Right.
some other booking channels. So they come right back to us. It's easy. They know that they can communicate with us directly, and it just makes their life easier. We actually have people come and as soon as they get like a tournament schedule or they know when they book the next year out.
Yeah.
So they leave and they book for another year.
Yeah. So it's just peace of mind for an investor that has purchased the property and just knows that it's going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Everything's in place. The dishes, the silverware, all things are in order.
I want to go back to team, right? We start that subject about team working with professionals. We also team up with our homeowners, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you investor, you bought unit in MGM's signature, or you bought house in Henderson or Las Vegas
Right.
with the permit. I will recommend you, and we will work with you together how to design that home, what we want to put in that home, how you want to spend your money, right, in that home.
Right.
You want to make sure it's comfortable for guests. So we're going to organize it and make a theme. Maybe it's a Las Vegas theme, maybe it's the Elvis Presley theme, or maybe
Right.
it's Beatles, or it's SpongeBob, or something, or game room for kids. So we're gonna brainstorm together with homeowner and decide what we want to do, how we want to attract the people to pick our unit, why we want to.
So kind of make it unique. I would
Yes,
assume that people want to
exactly.
have a different experience when they go travel.
Yes.
And then, so it's not so bland, but
Yes.
you talk about the SpongeBob room
Yeah.
or the Mickey Mouse room or
Yes.
whatever it is. So the parents might go like, man, this is
Exactly.
awesome, right?
So
Let's have a theme room. I love that.
we work with homeowner together on everything. What kind, I will suggest, this is how we want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
You can say yes or no. Mostly my homeowners say yes because we with experience and we know how to place what kind linen is gonna work more comfortable, towels, and how we want to set up this kitchen, what needs to be in the kitchen to bring people back.
Right.
So we work everything for convenience for homeowner and for our guests, so they feel comfortable and they want to use us over and over again.
Yeah.
And she also understands that the homeowner has a budget too, right? Like, this is what we want to do.
Maybe.
Well, this is what we want to do, but maybe that's phase 2 or phase 3. Phase 1, let's get it to here.
Right.
And then we continue to improve. We also give you the trends that are happening so you can understand as a homeowner what works. Like, for example, the push right now is for EV chargers in the homes. And so homes that have that, then it gets a specific tag on all of the booking channels. Oh, it has an EV charger. So if you're driving from California or you're driving from Utah, and you have an electric vehicle, that's your thing. At least you know, oh my gosh, I don't have to surf around and try to find a charging station. Those are things that can be added. All the new trends we keep you up to date on. And so you know. The other thing we do is some of our homeowners live here, some of them don't. And so every month we have a Zoom call with the ones that don't. The ones that live here, we usually meet in person. But if not, we have a Zoom call with them every month, and we show you this is where we were last month. This is where we are next month. Here's the expectations. Here's a few sustains, things we like that are going. Here's a few improvements, things that we think that will just improve your property slightly. And you'll be surprised. You continue to do these small things, they build up over time, and then the bookings keep coming.
Yeah, and that's what you want. You want it
That's
to
what
be
you
filled up
You want
day after day.
you want your place booked.
Yeah, that's what you want.
And I want you talk about how homeowners they know who booked their place, who is coming, when is it booked. Talk about it.
Yeah, so the homeowner, every time their booking comes in through a Casago, through a channel, through Casago, the homeowner automatically gets an email. An email says, congratulations, your place is booked for this many nights, and gives you the amount of rent that it's booked for.
Right.
So they know right away before people moved in, it's, for these 3 nights, it's going to be $1,283.43. They already know what the money's going to be, which is a great thing. And what we do is we send each guest gets automatically to their phone, they get a guest ranger background checked ID. So before a person can book, they have to upload the front of their driver's license, the back of their driver's license. A selfie takes about 25 seconds, and it goes through a systematic check, a software check, and gives me a red or a green. If it's green, I don't check it again. If it gives me a red, it's a risk score. Then I go and I check what the risk score is.
Right.
And it might be example that somebody got married and they didn't change their last name, so it doesn't match the reservation.
Right.
So I then call the guest. I call the guest. I go, hey, I just want to reach out. JB from Casago. Oh my gosh, my last name is Marshall, not Penny. Got it. So
So checking it out, making sure that the renters that are coming in are legit. There's a funny story. We were just doing a podcast with one of our other friends, and we were talking to a military gentleman who was with his friends in the Army, and they decided, let's borrow $5,000 and go party in Las Vegas. So they combined and got this loan and went and partied. So I'm assuming that that might be a red flag.
Red flag, wouldn't go. Yeah. Red flag wouldn't go. Disapprove. Just
Disapprove.
Like the other thing we do is we require the signer who's signing the contract to be 24 years old. You know, on most booking platforms, you can be 18 years old and book, and that's fine. But we feel that's not right for our homeowners, right? Because we're trying to bring in somebody that's understandably is just a little more responsible. That's
a little bit old. Yeah.
That's it.
How are the rates set? Do you set rates for them, or is this all Casago who's really
so we set the rates through a program called RevMax, which is a revenue manager, which is all the big hotel chains use, everything else, and it moves the revenue slightly as things go up and down. So for example, a home might not be booking. Instead of lowering it 10% or 20%, it might lower it $3 and then and now shoots up and gets more clicks. The other thing we use is a optimizer. It's a young group from Belgium, and these young people are so techie, but they're so good. They continue to change verbiage in your listing name to continues to get clicks. What you want to do is you want to get to a sweet spot of 100 people look at your home. You want to book somewhere between 3 and 6 times of that 100. That's where you want it. If it's more than that, then your price isn't right. If it's less than that, then your price isn't right.
Right.
And then you need to continue to do that. And the other thing is we continue to talk to the homeowners about understanding the price. Here's the big thing. COVID is over. Right. If you were managing your own property during COVID, you just listed it and it got booked, and you're good to go, and you didn't have to do anything. People were booking your garage for during COVID. But now consumers are, they're wily. They're looking around. They want to know what the cleaning fee is. They want to know what additional fees are. They want to put that all together, and they want to make sure that that's not more than 15 to 20% more than the rent. Okay, that's how they're looking at everything. The advantage of booking through, Casago is, again, you don't have any booking fees. You save on the resort fees that hotels charge you. Right. And the best part of this is Ilona and her team. It is absolutely first class linens. I'm sure you slept at some hotels back in the day. You slept on the linen, you woke up and you have a brush burn on your elbow because the linens are like sandpaper. Not ours. 5-star linens. The pictures that you see are actually the pictures that you get. And we get so many compliments of our linens, our towels, our amenities. That's the Casago standard.
And I'm assuming too, the way you're compensated, because there's a fee for that.
Sure.
The more the unit is occupied, the better it is for everybody, for the homeowner, for you as a company, for everybody. So your goal is to have that rented out as much as possible.
Rent it out for the most days at the best
maximum price.
At the maximum price. Right. Because you can, there's companies if it's not renting, they just slash the price in half and you get the wrong people in there. So we don't do that. Not what we're looking for. Yes, we don't get paid unless the place is booked. Right.
And I would imagine with Las Vegas, the events that come here in Las Vegas you can boost some of the daily rates.
With any events, obviously Formula One, we just had the Super Bowl. Those major events like that, you can book higher. Obviously New Year's Eve, that sort of thing. But and we're looking for. We're looking for the families traveling. We're looking for 2 or 3 couples traveling. We just had 3 middle-aged couples from Indiana traveling. Came, place was perfect. They each have their own space. They can meet for breakfast. They can use the pool. That's what we're going for. They still go to the Strip and have a great time. They call us for recommendations. We do all of that to try to help them. So we're owner-centric, guest-centric. Right. And you have to be both.
Yeah. So I look at, we've talked a lot about team, right? So you're a team.
We're a team.
And how did this all come together? Like, how did you sweep her off her feet? Because you were military.
You tried really hard.
Retired military.
Yes.
And were you stationed in Colorado Springs, or how did this all come
No,
about?
I was.
I'm going to let her speak.
Yes, we'll let
How
her.
did-
We'll let her tell the
Let's see
story.
how did this all come about? What did he do?
That's a tricky question.
Yeah.
Well, I was teaching in Colorado,
Uh-huh.
and GB was living in Las Vegas. GB is retired military, and he worked in Casa jobs. And he asked me if I would come and live with him.
Uh-huh.
And I make my decision.
And the answer?
Yeah, I mean,
It was a good one,
I
right? For
decided-
you, JB.
It was a
right?
good one. Yeah, I was
Yes.
living in Texas for a bit, and then a friend of mine who has a company here, a great man, offered me a position to help his group with strategic initiatives and that sort of thing. You know, I do some leadership coaching as well on the side, and then we started to just travel to Colorado and back and forth. And finally, I'm like, all right, this travel's got to stop. This is what I want. And it's funny because I just had a little condo. I didn't really have a home.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, I got to get my act together. And, bought my first home.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even know how VA
where's the
loan,
greatest loan out there,
loan
yeah.
worked. Thank you, Lord, for the VA loan.
Yeah.
The VA certificate worked. And then from there, bought a home and we moved together. And then as we start to transition and do this, Ilona was still traveling back, still doing skating. There's not a lot of skating here in Las Vegas. It's just growing.
Yeah, I couldn't find my team here for me to, with passion, to work with
Right.
the same passion as I work in Colorado. So I decided to do something else because my husband told me I have a lot of talents.
You too.
And I need to just explore and open my box and get out from there and see what else I can do. So we decided to go to real estate, try, and I passed my exam. Yay! Wasn't easy, but I did it. And then we've been talking about Casago, and GB gonna talk about that. And he said, well, talk about it.
And so we had an opportunity. Steve Schwab, who started Casago over 25 years ago, he served with me in the Ranger Regiment, so he's former military.
Okay.
And he's built this Casago into just a wonderful business and the leader in the industry. And we had an opportunity. There was a lot of people that came to him and said, hey, we would like to get a franchise. A lot of realtors, a lot of property managers. And we had a talk one day, and he's like, why don't you guys do this? He's like, I think you're the right team for it. He's like, I want to make sure that my team, that the team running it, the owner of it, is the right people. And he obviously knew me, knows Ilona. And then, so I looked at her and said, well, somebody's got to be a property manager.
Here we go.
So back to school she went.
He's like, back to school.
Way to go.
I'm like, one of us has got to be a property manager. Back to school. And she went and did that, and there we started. So it was about June of actually last year that we, bought the franchise. The great thing about Casago is they take you to a university. So we had to go to Rocky Point for a week and learn, and I was drinking from a fire hose, both of us. Like, you're learning all the back end stuff, and it's done in a very I liked it because it's done in a very military oriented way. And the benefit, the genius behind Casago is the Casago support team. The people that you call, that I call when I need help with Casago, are the people that teach you the classes. Yeah. So, David and Fernanda and Pilar and all of them, I know who they are.
Right.
We've had lunch with them. So you're not just calling and getting a random number in Bangladesh. Yeah. Right. So you know who you're getting and you're talking to. And that's the genius behind it. Also, Casago gives you a partner success manager, a mentor. We have a great mentor. We had Bill and now Jackie that help us. So every single week we have a call with them. I can text them and call them at any time. Hey, I'm trying to do this reservation. I'm a little bit stumped on something. Oh, hang on a second. She can go right into your system and check it and help us. And so that's what makes it so beneficial.
And also we have a chat with all franchisees.
learn from other
and we learning
markets on
from
what-
each other, and everyone sharing experience. I have this today, I have this today. So we all involved in everything, and we know all situations can be.
Yeah.
And I want to tell funny story how we went to this university in Casago University in Mexico. And we're like, okay, classes start at 9 o'clock. We're like, okay, fine. Like we're going like 9:05, like door closed. We're like, knock. She opened for us, Pilar. She's our instructor. And she's like, her all team line up. And we're like,
In uniform.
oh, in uniform. We're like
like we're on vacation.
Yeah, we're like on vacation. Like, and they like, she's like, just to let you know, if you 5 minutes late tomorrow, the door gonna be locked. We're like, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So
You're back in the military, right? Yeah.
And
the whole week we must be 9 o'clock. We start to come 8:45. So to get ready for our
there on
class.
time.
And the end of the first day, I remember we're drinking from fires. It's like, okay, exam 1. We're like, exam 1? But it was so great. And it was so funny.
And then it was finals.
Finals. Well, it was so funny because
Wow.
during that, like I was taking copious notes and everything else. And I'm like, Ilonichka, like take notes. And she's like, oh, I got it. And I don't think she's paying attention. And then it came time for the final and the final review. The guys reviewing the questions. And she's answering all the questions. I'm like, wow, you got it. And got a higher score than me on the final.
Well, she's a smart one.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, so the genius behind having all these franchises that are operated independently, you can call them. You know, one of the franchises in Bend, Oregon, Stacy Weston and her husband, like I call her all the time just for things. Like on a Sunday, she'll pick up. I'm like, hey, Stacy, I just had this. I'm not sure how to do this. Airbnb said this. She's like, oh, here's what you do. Got it. So there's such an opportunity because everybody wants everybody else to be successful.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, hey, who's trying? We just connected with another OTA, and that's Wimstay, right? They're the leader in like last minute bookings. And somebody just texted me today in the group chat, hey, does anybody with Wimstay? I'm like, yes, we just signed with them. So it's this collaboration. It's collaboration for success. And people in the business that know it know why it's doing right. And Steve Schwab's genius was, you build at the right opportunities, right? You don't overbuild early because then you have those. You don't underbuild, you build at the right opportunities. And so here we are.
Well, you can tell the passion that they have for this business and what they do. Incredible. You guys have had already incredible success.
Thank you.
Last words for how they can get in touch with you, or what you would recommend someone who wants to put their property on the Casago website for you.
Sure.
What would you recommend they do? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
You just go to Casago, Nevada, and you can look it up. You can call us on our cell phone. My direct number is 845-242-7828. Give us a call. We'll talk to you about what's your property, what's going on with your property. If it's already permitted, I can look it right up, and we can tell you, we can show you how to come into the Casago family. When you come into us, it's a family. Owners that come to Casago generally never leave because they're getting the ability to move their home, their investment, taking care of it, and they move it, makes the most money. It's protected the best. We look out for them. We look out for the guests.
So you get attention to detail, you get Ilona,
Yes.
you get JB, and the best out there. So thank you for joining us on today's Las Vegas Pitch. We'll see you
Thank
next time.
you.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.